Hello. It is February 12th, 2026. And I forgot to record a prep video for my week 9 match, so I'm kind of just doing it now impromptu. I've kind of already looked at this, so I'm going to go through it relatively quickly again. I do have the black pieces, so I'll just flip it so, looks like it's from my perspective. He is basically only an E4 player, as you can see on the right side. Now against C6, right? So Caro-Kann, mainly a D4, D5. Okay, so he has played some exchange and some advance. Let's take a look at the advance. Bishop F5. He played a bunch of stuff here. Bishop D3 is a kind of a silly move. Well, not silly, but it's like a not a threatening move. F4, sure. I'm surprised he's won so much with F4, but sure. He even has a bullet game in this recently where he played Knight F3, and looks like most of his recent games are Knight F3 in this position. So let's just say Knight F3. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the Lee Chess Opening Explorer is that it's really slow. I usually use Opening Tree, but for some reason, Opening Tree is not fetching any games right now, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I guess neither is the Lee Chess database. There it is. So yeah, he plays a short. I was watching a video on the Hanging Pawns YouTube channel. He just finished the Caro-Kann series, and he's doing like the Spanish now. But I watched his video on the short variation, which is right here. Knight D7, Knight E7, and C5 are all good moves. I was gonna prepare Knight D7 if I decided to play this, but now we're only getting into 3 games. Most recently he played Castle, but I imagine like C5 is a move or not. It says A4. Interesting. But yeah, I was considering this. I actually didn't totally want to go into this per se. Knight F3, C3, Bishop B5. Let me turn off the engine because it's kind of confusing me. He hasn't played the exchange recently. Yeah, he hasn't played it. Well, I guess that's somewhat recent, but Knight F6. I mean, this is like a very standard. Oh, this is a bullet game, so I was gonna say, like, isn't there not just this here? But anyway. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll play an exchange. I think he's gonna play advanced short variation. But it's a question of, do I want to play this myself? Probably not. So other considerations is C5, but I didn't like that he played into. All right, so he's recently done Knight F3. Yeah, because I see C3 is the most, which I don't really. I mean, I know how to play against the Alpin, but it's kind of meh for me. So Knight C6, D4 takes. E5. I play G6, which is the accelerated dragon, and he goes into C4. So this is just like a Maroxy bind. Again, I keep saying, do I want to play into a Maroxy bind, or do I want to just like not? I think the answer is still going to be I'm not going to. Yeah, one of these days I'll learn it, but not today. So E4, G6 is another move. D4, Bishop G7. C3 is the lazy variation. He's played C4 recently. C4, Knight F3, C3. Oh, but these are 2023, so maybe not the greatest. Not the greatest sample size, but I mean, C3 is not a threatening setup by white, so like I don't particularly care. Knight c3, knight f6, bishop d3, castle, castle. And again, these games are from 2023, so like I'm not taking these games too seriously in terms of relevance. So, but okay, he kind of plays like a lazy variation. But I did check the Peert's move order, and after d4, knight f6, he goes bishop d3 to protect this pawn rather than the mainline knight c3. And I feel like if I do this way, I can kind of get him into a King's Indian. So let's just say castle, castle, c4. Right, so he played c4 in a blitz game recently. He's played some other random stuff too. I mean, this is basically a modern, but with a different move order. The only difference with the Peert's move order, which is d6, knight f6, instead of just g6, bishop g7, is that d6, knight f6 immediately pressures the e4 pawn. So if we go back, d6, d4, knight f6, right, I'm immediately attacking this pawn. Whereas in the modern, I'm just developing, and there's no pressure here, or here even. So, yeah, that's like the small difference, but like a lot of it will transpose if you want it to. I could also try playing knight bd7, and then let's just say, oh, he hasn't played this recently at all. So like c4, you can go e5, and he goes d5, which is interesting. So like we could get the King's Indian kind of position, except I would have to fianchetto, but I don't even think I would fianchetto at this rate. I'd probably go like bishop e7, and then like knight f3, castle, castle, and then maybe like a knight c5, maybe a knight d7, knight fd7, whatever. But I'm like kind of okay. So even more importantly, okay, so you recently played against knight bd7, and what was this game? e5, d takes. I'm not a fan of d takes. In terms, like, I don't mean that in the terms of evaluation. I mean, like, I don't like these kinds of positions. They're very boring. I don't like them. I don't like the exchange King's Indian is like, ugh, yuck. Which is basically this position e5, except the bishop should be here. So I was looking at his game where he played c5. Again, this is 3 years ago, so like, I don't want to put too much stock into it, but I feel like he will play this anyway. And then we get a Benoni, and we get like a decently good Benoni too. So like I can play e6, I can play bishop g4, right? And in the Benoni, you want to make this trade so that this knight here can't go to c4 to pressure the weak d6 pawn, which I know is not weak right now, but you know, that's the idea. But you know, now that I've said this out loud, this knight bd7 idea is kind of interesting. I think this is called the rat defense or something. Except bishop d3 is not the main move. So let's just say c4. Oh, let's just say c4, e5, d5. And I mean, like, we get a King's Indian, you know? A King's Indian pawn structure. It's just a matter of if he'll actually play into it. Knight d3, queen d3. Yeah, bishop e7. I guess I will get this game. This was a 2-1 bullet game, so yeah, I don't like the way this guy played. Like, I would have tried to let him castle queen side, or king side, sorry. Like, I think g5 is a little too committal. IMO. Like, after bishop e7, I even would have considered just knight d7, make this trade, knight f3, castle. Like, maybe he'll delay with knight bd2, but then you can play knight c5 and something. Although this might be too many trades, and you don't really have a king side attack. Like, you've traded knight for, well, I mean, I guess it's only one trade, so it might still be okay. But this is definitely interesting. I'll look into this more too. But I think what I want to do is play a Peert's. and then decide between going g6 or knight bd7. And if I go g6, I'm anticipating this kind of line. Sorry, not knight bd7. I'm kind of hoping for c5, d5, bishop g4. Like, this is what I think I can get into as black, but it's hard to say because it's one game from 3 years ago. So we shall see. Could also play e6 in this position, but then after h3, this bishop sucks. So what is computer like here? Yeah, just bishop g4 immediately, just trade it off. So something like this, queen takes. Oh, and you still play e6? Okay. e6. Like, you don't really want to take here as white, because I'll take with the pawn. Queen b7, knight d7, right? Oh, this is an interesting line. You take 2 pawns, white's up 2 pawns, but wait, is this better? This is equal? That's crazy. Oh, you're sacking here? What the fuck is happening? Oh, because you can do this. And you have a perpetual here. How peculiar. Let me just say, if you go here, it's not even queen takes, but knight takes. Wow. Knight takes. All right. Anyway. Oh, is e5 here the rat? No? I don't know. It's something like that. But yeah, that's the idea. I'm probably going to get into some kind of King's Indian style structure or setup. And then we'll either get into a Benoni with this or I'll go this way. But I'll look into this more. All right, see you game time. Alrighty, here we go. Slack is telling me, good luck, have fun. Let's put the phone down. Good luck, have fun. Okay, e4. Yep, good. That's what I expected. Now, do I want to play Pierce or do I want to play a short Caro? I didn't really prep that much past the video I said I was going to, but I did not. Yeah, let's go into it, Pierce. We'll see if we can get that position I was hoping for with the bishop d3, knight f3, c4. And I'll play c5, d5, and then play Benoni. We'll see. I'm very tired. Kind of had a long day yesterday. Yesterday was Valentine's Day. We were just hanging out all day, so I know it's like 11 a.m. right now, but I'm still tired. And I can be tired. And also my motivation is a little low. I guess partially because I haven't been doing well in this tournament, but also we're getting into Riftbound, so oh, f4, that's different. Okay. F4 is different. So this is not in my prep. So he's taking me out of prep, which is fine. I think bishop g7 is still the move. I'm going to castle. I don't think I'm concerned about e5 because we trade and I'll go. So I can go like knight g5, knight g4 now. But at any rate, we'll go here. I'm assuming he'll castle. He could play c4 as well. Yeah, we'll see how we handle this. Yep, castle. Okay, so what to do, what to do? I could play e5 even. Actually, no, not really. e5 doesn't look good. Knight c6 is an idea. Knight c6, d5. But I have to go back, which is a little annoying. Knight bd7, e5. He controls it 3 times though. So I would need 2 moves to play e5. C5, d5. C5, d5, bishop g4 looks okay. I mean, he's already got f4 in. That's the main difference between the position I was hoping for. So he can play e5 a little quickly, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. Hacking my dad talking to my neighbors. C5, I mean, let's just go for c5. Anticipating he'll play a Benoni style position. If he takes on c5, play queen a4. Queen, no. Why I don't need to play queen a5? No reason. If he takes on c5, I feel like I should just take back and play the symmetrical position, which is not what I wanted, but it is what it is. So something like DC, DC, e5, 98. Maybe like knight c3 developing, and then we just play chess. We'll probably play like e6, just to stop the pawn, reroute my knight to c7, knight c6. He's got more space. I just need to figure out how to chip away at the pawns, question mark. Which doesn't look very possible. c3. Could play knight bd7. I could play bishop g4. Hard to say what I should be doing here. I don't think we're getting into a Benoni position with d5. Specifically, I don't think he'll play d5 now that he's played c3. It just doesn't make sense. So I guess my concern is e5. But I think after e5 I can still go knight e8. Or even do something like this. So I think knight bd7 is fine. There's a notes tab here, so I could probably write stuff down. Which I guess you can't really see it here, but there's like a notes section right here. I could type stuff, but I guess I can. Four F4 surprised me. 7 C3, no Benoni now, since D5 and later C4 doesn't make sense after C3. I'm also kind of down to just play A6, B5, and play like a Tiger Modern. Knight A3. What's the idea? Could be Knight C2 to defend D4. I could play A6 to stop knight or bishop to B5. Knight C4 I can't deal with. That's just, if he wants it, he can have it. I can't do anything about that. I also want to play Knight B6, but that doesn't look great. I mean, A6 kind of just looks like the way to go. Taking in the middle just doesn't feel right, and I can't explain why. Yeah, I'll go A6. E5, yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen at some point. So knight G4, H3, knight H6. There's also knight d5. Which I don't love knight d5. So knight h5, g4, and I lose the knight. Knight g4, h3, knight h6. Not the biggest fan of that. Knight d5. Knight d... No, knight d5, there's bishop c4, but I guess I have knight 5 b6. Let's go knight d5. Maybe I'll go knight b6. Maybe I'll go knight c7 instead. Yeah, I think my plan is something around here. I'm a little concerned about white playing e6, but I guess f takes is fine. It's just that this pawn is going to be backwards. Assuming he wins this pawn back, which he may or may not. e6, fe. There's probably a world he can make this pawn sack useful. So like I really want to play b5 if I have time. Just to cut this diagonal off a little bit. And this as well. Actually, I could play knight 7 d5. Or knight 7 b6. What the hell? What am I saying? I could play knight 7 d6 if he plays bishop c4. Same idea. And if he plays queen b6... Okay, he plays ed. guess I'll play ED. I should have put like some thought into that, but alright, whatever, it's fine. I like also kind of have to use the bathroom, which sucks. Anyway. Not that anyone needed to know. I feel like this F pawn is really awkward now. But I guess so is my D pawn. I'd love to put pressure on this pawn, but there's always G3. But I guess if G3, this is super open. So there's bishop H6. But then there's F5. If we trade here, it's not worth it. Oh. Okay. I feel like I should take with the pawn. Because this pawn would be isolated if I take with the knight. And I have to find ways to keep pieces on the board, which is doable, but I'm not a fan of. I think with the pawn, it's just much simpler. It's symmetrical, which is a little lame, but I don't see any problems in my position. And this pawn is awkwardly placed still, so I think we'll go with the safer option. Because I don't really see where my activity is after knight takes. The pawn's awkward here. I mean, maybe I could do something like this, but queen c7, b5, bishop b7 look like a series of moves I want to play. But actually, this knight is a little loose, loosey goosey. So I need to probably move this like here, or I could go here. But then takes. I would need to move this knight first. Maybe knight f6, knight 7 f6. But then I block my bishop. Unless I'm moving this knight again, but there's nowhere to move it, really. Like, I want to play knight b6 as well. But I blocked my b pawn, so this bishop is stuck still. I could also put the bishop here. Maybe I should put the bishop here. Well, yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that, but that's fine. So take, right? Obvious move is obvious. So there's f takes and there's h takes. I could also just give up the pawn. Just move my knight somewhere. Well, f takes, there's queen takes d5 with check. Is that a problem? I'm not a fan of that per se. H takes queen d5. I do have the bishop pair. Well, yeah, I should just play h takes first. I'll try to compensate with by getting the bishop pair. Yeah, so I wanted to play queen b6, but then knight c4. I don't want to trade either. I have to play rook b8 before I can play this. Hmm. So I have this crazy idea. Knight f6, trade. Maybe here, here. And it's like this knight moves. I can play c4 and try to play for this outpost on d3. Question is, how do we get there? Actually, yeah, the easiest way to get there would be here, here. So maybe rook b8 here, there, there, there. Am I concerned about f5, actually? Well, if I move my knight... if I move my knight, we trade. And I guess I don't worry about f5, but then... I guess I'll get b4, b5. But do I really have enough? Honestly, maybe. Honestly, maybe. Because I can go bishop f5 and then push these pawns, and I just have... I feel like I might have compensation. Alright, let's try it. Queen takes d8, rook takes d8. Do I have compensation with bishop f5 and queenside pawn storm? That is the question. Because, like, this bishop is blocking this rook. This knight is kind of silly on the edge of the board. And I'm going to have queenside space. And I'll have a rook here already. Something like b5, b4. Oops, b5, b4. And then this pawn might be weak. And if we trade here, and it's hard to cover, so like I have rook b8. Like, honestly, maybe. Honestly, maybe. You want to see doesn't queen trade? I don't know. I could play bishop f5 anyway. Just develop. Oh wait, I lost my c5 pawn. Oops. Yeah, clearly I'm not. I am not invested in this game right now. So maybe I should have played rook b8. Yeah. Maybe I should have played rook b8. '94 gets a tempo, but like, am I really trying to get tempo here? Or I guess a better way to phrase that is like, what am I doing with that tempo? What am I setting up? So like knight e4, queen e3, then what? Rook e8? Actually, hold on a sec. Knight e4. Knight e4, queen e3, rook e8. Threatening knight g3? But knight e4, what if he just goes like queen b4? I guess I can still play rook e8. I can also just play bishop f5 anyway. Ooh, excuse me. Alright, well, I mean, I could still probably play knight e4, but I'm less convinced that it's a good move. Now. I like still need to use the bathroom, which really sucks. Maybe after my next move. Let's just say I sack 2 pawns for activity. Yeah. Surely. That's what I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, bishop e3 makes sense. I'm pretty sure knight e4 doesn't do anything now because of the bishop. Rook c8. Rook c8, queen b6. I'll just go rook c8. I use the bathroom. Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured played queen b6. So queen b6, bishop takes 94, 95. Okay, want a pawn back maybe? I can't tell how much time I was in the bathroom for. That's all right. I guess he has. No, he doesn't. What am I saying? I'll go here. I'll win the pawn back, I guess. And I also have the H file, which may or may not be useful. I guess I'm not winning the pawn back. Hmm. Yeah, nothing good. So I'm like seeing this. Uh, go back here, take. But I guess I can go like here, check, and then rook blocks though. If you trade, I mean, is that even better? I mean, like maybe I can attack some of his weakness. I don't fucking know, man. I don't know. So I saw knight d3, knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes, take on b7, rook b8, and then go back to d3, rook takes here. I can take this pawn. This is still defended because of this rook. So let's just say like knight b8. And like maybe I get counterplay here somehow. Alright, does it this way? Yeah, that makes sense. Let's defend this. Maybe I'll go here, here, or something. Because knight d4 is coming. I don't know. At this point, I'm just like mentally checked out. I mean, there might be something somewhere, but it's just like I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let me look for that. See if you fit that. That just that shirt jacket. Right. Light color. 个关了，你烧买个灯。
Yeah.
Plain.
Yeah. We. We. Okay. Yeah, I mean, f4 was a surprise, but it was relatively fine, even up to here. It's like, yeah, I had compensation. I just didn't play it right. Queen e7? I guess trading queens I should not have done. Trading queens is still fine. I just need to play it differently. Yeah, this wasn't a free pawn because of this X-ray kind of situation here. Yeah, so... But here I should have went... oh no, 95 is still okay. So here I should have done this first. I forgot, why didn't I do this first? Oops. Yeah, why didn't I do this first? I don't know. Yeah, taking the pawn was where it all fell apart. Here it's like still within some compensation realm. Yeah, F4 was like not smart at all, but whatever. I don't think there's really much I could do at this point. I mean, game was... I mean, this was a nice tactic. So maybe I should have... I don't know, 95? Computer still likes 95, just... Both knight takes and pawn takes were fine. I didn't like the isolated pawn after knight takes. But I guess either way, he's getting this tactic to win a pawn. 90, I did not see 95 at all. I mean, it makes sense. The same idea. Although, can he not still take on c5? I guess this is more active. I would try to play this. No, I guess, yeah, that's kind of a problem, huh? Yeah, not really. Can you go here? Oh, no. Yeah, alright. I mean, I just didn't play dynamically enough. I just needed to optimize my activity in this position. Where I have the bishop pair, but I'm down a pawn. He's lacking some activity. Yes, I mean, this was a this is not what I wanted, but it's still fine. Doesn't this... Yeah, I mean, I could have played that better, even after losing the c5 pawn. GG's.